military trucks. We're about to go on a run here through DC and show you what it looks like now that the Trump administration has sent in the National Guard and federalized our police force. Didn't even get to start the run. I'm on my block. We've got police right here. This is Border Patrol, and then these are some unmarked vehicles as well as more Border Patrol. Now following that group of cars, we're about 4 blocks in. All right, just got to Union Station. Here is what the scene looks like. Kind of a weird scene here, but we've got 3 of these military trucks sitting behind me. I just circled back to head back to Martin Luther King Jr. Library now that it is shut down to see what happens. And in front of me, I have about 8 agents on the police. We got Border Patrol, Secret Service, Homeland Security Investigations, and one that just says federal agent. Get the fuck out of my city! There's a group of Border Patrol and MPD behind me. They just stopped 2 men for smoking weed, which to my knowledge is legal in DC. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. Just in the few blocks that I walked alongside those federal agents, the number of scared reactions that I saw from people of color that were walking just down the street minding their business was insane. Just to give you an example, a black mother and her son was walking down the street. The second they turned the corner and saw the agents walking towards them, she immediately grabbed her son's hand and told him, when you see these people out here walking around, you're gonna hold my hand because I want them to know that you're mine and you're not out here causing trouble because we don't want any trouble with them. It was truly just so disheartening to see.
That TikToker gave us a tiny little glimpse into the totalitarian hellscape that is DC thanks to Donald Trump and his fascist military takeover. And as you saw, there were militarized police and just members of the military everywhere. And DC's residents, especially black and brown ones, do not feel safe, and for good reason. And that guy was correct that marijuana is indeed legal in DC, but that hasn't stopped authorities from arresting people and even going door to door because they mistakenly thought that they smelled weed, which is, again, legal in DC. Pay close attention to this interaction that was recorded.
Don't be smoking outside, don't be drinking outside.
That's federal agents going door to door because Trump is tired of it. And they want you to believe that this is the new normal.
Heard of the federal search that Donald Trump? No. Right. You don't follow it. No. All right, so Trump's currently coming together, 7 days going out, trying to stop the violent crime.
They're calling it a 7-day federal surge, but Trump's already talked about going around Congress to make this permanent. This isn't about just a week. This is about how much federal control you will tolerate at your front door.
Step at the moment you walk that down your head. Yeah, well, it smelled like the odor of marijuana, burnt marijuana in the air, right? You're the only guy that has something in your hand.
Except it was just a cigarette, and they were being questioned on their own front stoop.
So he was like, yo, everybody's out. FBI,
So they knocked on his door to warn him to behave because they mistakenly thought that they smelled weed, which, again, is legal in DC. Doesn't matter if it's legal because Donald Trump is tired of it, whatever that means. So just know that if you're not on your best behavior, then there's police, troops, and federal agents everywhere, on every single block, basically. And to be clear, that wasn't a PSA. That was an implicit threat to that individual because everyone in DC already knows that they're everywhere. This video from Olivia Scooter shows one of many hordes of federal agents. This one includes DEA and FBI, just patrolling streets looking for peasants who might be misbehaving in a way that the regime would disapprove of. They're not finding anything, but they're marching through the streets just to, I guess, demonstrate the power that they have and control that they have over the subjects that they're currently occupying. And as journalist Jerome McDonald Evoy pointed out, remember when conservatives said that lockdowns were government overreach? Those were the days, right? I know, I remember that. They threw temper tantrums over mask mandates during a global health crisis, but they have nothing to say about this fascist takeover of our nation's capital. Like, we are seeing authoritarian conditions in the United States, but they've put away their don't tread on me flags, apparently. I don't know what happened to them. See, they are implementing new laws, seemingly at the behest of Trump's regime, by arresting people for smoking weed. Like, that's what they can do, but they're saying, no, we are arresting people for that. Now we're going door to door to warn them that they can't smoke weed. Like, this is what invading forces do after they just conquer nations. And it's not just that they're intimidating people and arresting them for any reason. They're also setting up checkpoints like an actual fucking military-style dictatorship. And expectedly, nobody is okay with this.
At this very street in Washington, D.C., police set up a checkpoint, stopping cars as they passed. Many residents came out to protest against it.
Get off our street!
So this checkpoint was set up along 14th Street Northwest, which is very close to the busy U Street corridor. We're speaking with some residents who live in this area today about their reactions.
We saw a number of masked men, clearly working for ICE, a small number of protesters, a lot of lights, a lot of cars just stopped in the road. My instinct, right, get out of the city.
That a lot of the police were covering their faces, I think is kind of intimidation, which I was upset to see that happening right close to my home.
Checkpoint here is not related to any actual public safety concern.
From where I live, I can see like the street, and I saw like a group of police officers and National Guard just walking.
I've lived in DC for almost 4 years now and have never felt unsafe. Now with this increased police presence, I do feel like everyone's on edge.
And more developments involving federal troops were seen today as well, including National Guard units and Humvees set up near Union Station.
This is disgraceful. I come here every day. I never feel unsafe. For what? For what?
And to answer that last lady's question, it's not to make her feel more safe, it's to intimidate her. This is Trump flexing his muscle to scare citizens into submission because there's no reason for the checkpoint. They didn't even state a reason for the checkpoint. As Jake Johnson of Common Dreams explains, there was no officially stated purpose for the checkpoint, but it came amid the Trump administration's lawless mass deportation campaign and its broader threats to deploy U.S. troops on the streets of American cities to crush dissent. And at least one person, a black woman, was arrested at Wednesday's checkpoint. One D.C. resident posted to Reddit that agents were pulling people out of cars who are suspicious or if they don't like the answers to their questions. The Washington Post reported that a mix of local and federal authorities pulled over drivers for seatbelt violations or broken taillights. Bradley Balco, a journalist who has documented the growing militarization of U.S. police, wrote earlier this week that the motivation for Donald Trump's plan to federalize Washington, D.C. is same as his motivation for sending active duty troops into Los Angeles, deporting people to the Sacat torture prison in El Salvador, his politicization of the Department of Justice, and nearly every other authoritarian overreach of the last 6 months. He is testing the limits of his power and by extension of our democracy. And that is exactly the case, because Trump is currently trying to see what he can and can't get away with. So if there's enough pushback in DC and they constrain Trump's actions in some way, shape, or form, then that is going to hinder his plans to bring this to other cities. Inevitably, he still will do that. But right now, if he can't get away with everything, military checkpoints and whatnot, then that will in some ways limit what he's able to do. And the good news is that there are brave people in DC who are quite literally fighting for our freedoms right now as we speak by protesting him and filming federal